So guys, we got a full speed test and camera comparison, the iPhone 13 Pro versus the iPhone XS here. So let's see if we could spot the difference with the speed in the cameras. We got the Apple A15 chip on here, 6 gigs of RAM, and then we have the Apple A12 chip with 4 gigs of RAM. Alright, so let's go ahead and get into it here. Let's go ahead and open Subway Surf. Boom, 13 Pro. iPhone XS right behind it. Not too bad, honestly. That was pretty close. The 13 Pro, you'll see, does have a brighter display, and also you have the 120 hertz on the 13 Pro, as well as the smaller notch as well too. You might tell some people don't like the smaller notch. It cuts into content a little bit. Instagram, super fast on both. Again, that 120 hertz, very noticeable as far as scrolling. The XS does do a great job with scrolling. It just doesn't feel as smooth. Let's go ahead and Pokemon Go. So as we can see, performance-wise, not too bad. Boom. Boom. And one of the things I like to look for doing these is really stutters and lags with these older phones. And we're just not really seeing it on the XS so far. So the devices are a lot closer than I was expecting. So as you guys can see, performance-wise, is it really a big jump? I don't really think so. As far as the app opening test goes, like I said, I'm going to be looking for lags and jitters and stuff like that. Before we open up PUBG, let's go ahead and look at the actual benchmark scores that we got. So these are the scores that you are working with here. You can see a big score jump in that multi-core score as well too. Now, surprisingly, these phones actually still play about at the same settings, but what you'll notice with PUBG is that it's actually able to play at the 90 frames because of that high refresh rate display. So it is going to make it a superior gaming device, but the XS can play pretty much maxed out. It just can't play at that 90 frames because it doesn't have it. So the question is, can you notice the PUBG playing at 90 frames? And yes, I noticed it immediately. You can tell the jump from 60 frames to 90 frames. It's really awesome. So if you're somebody that plays PUBG, or you just like playing games, at the high refresh rate, really love playing games on your phone, this does feel very smooth and accurate, especially for a shooting game. So that is definitely a plus. But the XS is still able to play maxed out HDR Extreme. I can go all the way to Ultra HD. It's still very fast, very smooth for the most part. I don't really have an issue with gaming on the XS here. Like I said, still pretty smooth. Alright, let's go ahead and see how these phones do with RAM management. See if we get any closeouts. We didn't even open YouTube. So far, no closeouts at all. So we can see this 4 gigs of RAM is still doing very good on the XS. I think we got we got a closeout on the XS. One closeout so far for Jetpack Joyride. They both look like they closed out Twitter. Alright, so honestly, not that bad. The XS only closed out one application. Alright, so let's go ahead and move on to the cameras. Alright, so let's go ahead and discuss the cameras. On the XS, we do have a dual camera setup here. It's a 12 megapixel standard and a 12 megapixel telephoto. It does 2x optical zoom, 4K video at 2430 60 FPS, and then a 7 megapixel selfie that does 1080p at 60 frames. And for the 13 Pro, it's a quad camera setup, 12 megapixel standard, 12 megapixel telephoto, 3x optical zoom, and then we have a 12 megapixel ultra wide that also acts as a macro camera for very close shots. And then we also have the 4K video at 2430 and 60 FPS. And then we have a 12 megapixel selfie that shoots in 4K 24, 25, 30 and 60 FPS. So let's go ahead and see those stills side by side. Be sure to let me know what you guys think. Alright, so let's go ahead and do the speaker comparison here, see if we notice a difference, both max volume. So I immediately noticed a difference in loudness and overall bass quality on the 13 Pro. It's definitely louder, has better bass. The XS still sounds great though. Yeah, so that top speaker on the 13 Pro is definitely more powerful than the top speaker on the XS, and I just think the overall speakers are just louder. So that's pretty much it, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.